कर्णं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तमलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। भगवद्गीता अध्याय 2 श्लोक 53 श्रुतिविप्रतिपन्ना ते यदा स्थास्यति निश्चला समाधावचला बुद्धिः तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि। How one gets apratibadha jnana, we have seen yesterday, by means of Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana for a considerable length of time. The length of time might vary from person to person, depending on his chitta shuddhi, his readiness. One gets apratibadha jnana, the knowledge which is not obstructed, the knowledge which is not overpowered by samshaya and viparita bhavana, asambhavana and viparita bhavana, is apratibadha jnana. Then the jnana is available even at the time of transaction. Even when he is speaking to other people, even when he is interacting with other people, jnana is available to him. That is why the Atma Jnana percolates into his personality. It permeates into his personality. The jnana backs him, supports him in every situation in life. Therefore, at every event in life, a jnani is free from fear, a jnani is free from insecurity, free from ragadvesha, free from attachment, free from hatred, and so on and so on. The apratibadha jnana, when the jnana is very much assimilated, then it is called yogaha or samadhihi by Bhagavan. Most often, when we hear the word samadhi, we think it should be a mystical experience that one attains at some point of time, for a period of time. You get a mystical experience, and it is called realization. This is what many people think. The Yoga Shastra talks about a mystical experience called samadhi. But when we talk about samadhi, when Krishna talks about samadhi, when the Upanishad talk about samadhi, it is not a mystical experience. And it is not even something that happens when your eyes are closed and you are in meditative posture. It is not something that happens when you are oblivious of the external world. And it is not even something that happens only for a period of time. For a short period of time, at a particular point of time, it doesn't happen. Yesterday, half an hour I went to samadhi and then I came back. We are not talking about that samadhi. Even if you go to samadhi for half an hour yesterday, in fact, I was in samadhi for 8 hours. Nidra samadhi sthiti. It is not going to help much. The samadhi is nothing but the assimilated knowledge. When the jnana is available all the time, when a Brahmajnani's mind does not lose sight of the knowledge even during transaction, that itself is called samadhi by Bhagavan. Some acharyas call it sahaja samadhi. Drigdrishya Viveka beautifully puts forward sahaja samadhi. Dehabhimane galite vijñāte paramatmani yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhayaha. Dehabhimane galite. Dehabhimana, the body identification, when it is galita, it is dissolved. The body identification melts down. It is gone. It has become very weak. I am the body, and my identities associated with the body, they are no longer my true identity. It is well assimilated. And vijñāte paramatmani, and this person has understood that he is Brahman, He has owned up his true identity. His true identity is spontaneously available. Just like our present identity is spontaneously available. Your name is spontaneously available. You don't have to look into mobile phone for your names. Likewise, Aham Brahmasmi is spontaneously available. Even during transaction, even during sleep. It's not that during sleep he will say Aham Brahmasmi, not that. Suppose while sleeping someone wakes him up. Even then it is available. A jnani will also sleep, have sound sleep like anyone else. It's not that he will not sleep and he will have a Aham Brahmasmi flashing all the time. Not so. But the jnana is well assimilated. Vijñāte Paramatmani. Then yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhayaha. Wherever the mind goes, he is in samadhi. Yatra yatra mano yati. The mind may go anywhere. He is involved in transaction. He is engaged in transaction. Even then he is in samadhi, meaning he does not lose sight of Atmajnana. Not losing sight of Atmajnana is called yogaha or samadhi. And that is the samadhi we need, not the mystical samadhi that some people strive for, closing their eyes and meditating. In fact, even when we do meditation, our objective is not to attain a mystical experience. The sole idea of meditation is to assimilate the jnana, make the jnana available to us all the time. Make the jnana a part and parcel of our personality. It is the objective of meditation. Krishna calls it yoga or samadhi. Here also, and later on also in chapter 6, he talks about yogaha, samadhihi, and even that is nothing but the spontaneously available Atmajnana. Apratibadha jnana. So, in this verse, Bhagavan talks about samadhi, yoga. In fact, he does not use the word samadhi, he uses the word yoga. Yoga is samadhi. Yoga literally means focus of mind. Yuja samadhau dhatu. The mind is focused, means the mind is focused on Atmajnana. To such an extent that it never loses sight of Atmajnana. The focus on Atmajnana has become a second nature of the mind. It is spontaneously available, which is not, which does not go away even during transaction. That is yoga or samadhi. We will see the verse. Shruti vipratipanna te yadasthasyati nischala samadha vachala buddhi tada yogam avapsyasi. Shruti vipratipanna. Mostly our buddhis, our minds are vipratipanna. Vipratipanna means distracted. The mind is habitually distracted by various objects. And the objects enter our mind through various perceptions. Shruti. Shruti means Shravana, not Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, not that Shravana. Bhashyakara says Shruti is Shravana. Shravana means hearing. Hearing means, hearing stands for various perceptions. Indriya jnana, Indriyajanya jnana. So we hear so many things, we see so many things. Then the object enters our mind in the form of thoughts. Then sometimes we get attracted to the objects, and sometimes we develop a hatred towards the object. The object should not be near me. This is dvesha. This person should not be near me. Either he should go or I should go away. You remove that person or I will leave. Dvesha. Then raga. I want the object. So there is ragadvesha. And because of ragadvesha, the mind goes in various directions. Vipratipanna, vikshipta. It moves in various directions towards various objects. It is vikshipta. Extroverted mind, distracted mind, dispersed mind. That is an ordinary mind, vikshipta chitta. The chitta which is vikshipta, not samahita, not focused. Shruti vipratipanna te buddhihi yada, when it becomes free from all vikshepas, when it becomes free from all distractions. The distractions can be caused by two reasons. One is because of ragadvesha, because of hatred, interest, desires, ityadi. That is one form of vikshepa. Then another form of vikshepa is because of habit. Because of our ragadvesha, our mind had been vikshipta for a long time. Then even after the ragadvesha gets reduced, because of the previous habit, the mind remains vikshipta. That is why some people, they may not have desire, but still the mind keeps wandering. It is because of previous habit. The mind is habitually distracted. Earlier it was, the distraction was cultivated because of ragadvesha. Now even without ragadvesha, the mind remains distracted. That is why when we talk about preparation for Atmajnana, we talk about Vikshepa Nivritti separately. First of all, we talk about Mala Nivritti. Then we talk about Vikshepa Nivritti. For Mala Nivritti, Mala means Ragadvesha Ityadi. All the strong emotions, raga, dvesha, etc. are mala, impurities of the mind. The mala has to be reduced first, and it is accomplished by means of karma yoga. The karma yoga, which involves kayika as well as vachika karma. Then there is another stage known as Vikshepa Nivritti. Even after the mala is reduced, Vikshepa remains. And it is removed by means of Upasanam, Manasa Karma. Upasanam removes the Vikshepa. So this way of explaining is found in some places, in some prakarana granthas. Karma yogena malanivrittihi, karmana malanivrittihi, and upasanena vikshepa nivrittihi. They make a distinction between upasanam and karma yoga. Though upasanam is a manasa karma, sometimes it can be included in karma itself, but sometimes we can see a difference also. Because the regular karma, I hope it makes sense. Please listen to these things once again, then it will give some more clarity. What did I say? Yeah. I know, my wonder is whether I am making sense or not. For some people I am making sense. That's why they are shaking head. And on seeing their shaking, I can infer that they understand. So, karma yoga and upasana are sometimes distinguished, though both are basically karma. Upasana is also manasa karma. But upasana serves a different purpose also. So the other karma, kayika karma and vachika karma, removes mala. Mala means ragadvesha ityadi. And upasanam removes vikshepa. The vikshepa which is caused by the mala. The vikshepa which was built as a habit by the previously existing ragadvesha. Now, even when the ragadvesha is gone, vikshepa remains. So, it has to be removed by means of upasana. So, that is why in Vedanta Sara you might have read a line. What was the line? Nityadinam karmanam, the karmas, param prayojanam chitta shuddhi. So chitta shuddhi is the prayojana of karma. Whereas upasananam tu chittaikagryam, the prayojana of upasanam is chittaikagryam. If you look into Vedanta Sara, 6 types of karma were told. What are the 6 types of karma? Can you remember? Nitya, Naimittika, Kamya, Nishiddha, Nitya, Naimittika, Prayaschitta, Upasana. 6 karmas were mentioned. Among the 6 karmas, to become adhikari, what karma should one perform? Kamya nishiddha varjana purassaram nitya naimittika prayaschittopasananushtanena nirgata nikhila kalmashataya nitanta nirmala swantaha sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha pramata. Please go back and read. You have studied very recently. I studied years ago. So he has to give up nitya karma. Sorry, not give up nitya karma. He has to give up kamya karma and nishiddha karma to become an adhikari. And he should perform nitya, naimittika, nitya karma, naimittika karma, prayaschitta karma, and upasanam. These 4 types of karmas he should perform. That is how nitanta nirmala swantaha, nirgata nikhila kalmashataya, nitanta nirmala swantaha. All kalmasha, all impurities in the mind are removed, and then he becomes nitanta nirmala swantaha. The mind becomes very pure. And then sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. Then he gets a sadhana chatushtaya. All sadhana chatushtaya manifests in the mind. Then he becomes adhikari. Very beautifully, adhikari was explained in Vedanta Sara. So there, later on, nityadinam karmanam, param prayojanam, the mukhya prayojana of nityadi karma, nitya, naimittika and prayaschitta, all 3 types of karma. The mukhya prayojanam, what was it? Chitta shuddhihi, sattva shuddhihi, means ragadveshadi nivrittihi. Upasananam tu chittaikagryam. Upasanas, though they are karma, they have a speciality. They just don't remove chitta, the mala, the other forms of impurity. In addition to that, they remove the vikshepa. Vikshepa nivritti also is brought about by upasanas. As a result of vikshepa nivritti, they bring about chittaikagryam. Vikshepa nivritti is chittaikagryam. When the vikshepas are gone, the mind gets focused. So, through karma yoga and upasana. So, upasanam is also included in karma yoga. Sometimes we can mention it separately. So, in fact, Vedanta Sara includes all the four into karma yoga. Nitya Naimittika Prayaschitta Upasana. Performing all these four is karma yoga. As a result of that, the mind has become ready for Atmajnana. So, yada includes the readiness, Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Ekagrata. And also, he has done Shavana, Manana and Nididhyasana adequately. Then he has attained jnana, and the jnana has become free from pratibandha. So that is yada, when. After attaining Chitta Shuddhi and after going through the process of Shavana, Manana and Nididhyasana, it is yada. There is a lot of gap between Shruti Vipratipanna and yada. We have to bridge the gap based on so many other verses. Then what happens? Samadhau achala nischala sthasyati. Samadhau, we should not get confused here, because in the shloka, the word samadhau is understood as Atma. The word samadhi means Atma in the shloka. But in the bhashya, later on when bhashyakara uses the word samadhi, it should be understood as jnana, apratibadha jnana. Samadho means atmani, in the atma, means in the atma jnana. Atma jnani, in the vision of the atma. Achala nischala sthasyati. Achala. Achala means free from shaking, without getting shaken. Nischala, also without shaking. Achala also without shaking. Nischala also without shaking. Why twice? Shankaracharya says there are two types of pratibandhas. That is why I was telling all those things yesterday. There are two types of pratibandhas which can shake the mind from jnana. All pratibandhas shake the jnana. One is asambhavana. Asambhavana is one type of pratibandha. Doubt. untenability of the teaching. Is it really a valid understanding or not? The jnana that I have got, is it really a valid understanding? It is a samshaya, a sambhavana. And when I get it, I am shaken from the jnana. Aham brahmasmi. After a while I get a doubt. Does the Vedanta really say this? Pramana asambhavana. Even if the Vedanta says this, is it really logical? Prameya asambhavana. Both are asambhavana. It shakes me from the jnana. So, achala means free from asambhavana. Free from doubts. And nischala means free from viparita bhavana. The viparita bhavana also shakes. So, achala and nischala means free from all forms of pratibandha. Samadhau sthasyati. It abides in Atmajnana. One does not lose sight of Atmajnana. Then tada yogam avapsyasi. Then you will get yoga. Then you get samadhi. Here yoga means samadhi. So, tada yogam avapsyasi. The word yoga means samadhi, focus of mind. And in this context, it is the culmination of Atmajnana. Sahaja samadhi means apratibaddha jnana. Then one can say that one has attained apratibaddha jnana. So that is the culmination of spiritual pursuit. Attainment of yoga, attainment of sahaja samadhi. Yatra yatra manoyati tatra tatra samadhaya. So, we will read the bhashya. Moha kalilatyayadvarena labdhatma viveka prajnaha kada karma yogajam phalam paramartha yogam avapsyami iti chet tat shrinu. So, as a sambandha for this verse, Bhashyakara imagines a question from Arjuna. This is Arjuna's question, not mentioned by Vyasa, but mentioned by Bhashyakara. Mohakalilatyayadvarena labdhatma viveka prajnaha aham. Arjuna is asking about himself. Me. Labdhatma viveka prajnaha. One who has attained Atma Viveka, which is a jnana, Atma Viveka jnana. the understanding of the distinction of the Atma from the Anatma. Labdha Atma Viveka Prajna Yasya Saha Labdhatma Viveka Prajna. One who has attained Atma Viveka Prajna means Atma Jnana. And how does one get Atma Jnana? Moha Kalilatyayadvarena. As mentioned in the previous verse. Yadate moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati. By crossing over moha kalila, the impurity of the mind which is aviveka, means by getting chitta shuddhi. Kada, when karma yogajam phalam, the phala of karma yoga, the goal of karma yoga, which is paramartha yoga, paramartha yogam. Paramartha yoga means the jnana. Paramarthe brahmani yogaha samadhanam. Mind abiding in paramartha. Mind abiding in the knowledge of paramartha. The paramarthika. One does not lose sight of the paramarthika, even when one does vyavahara. It is called paramartha yoga. He is always aware of the paramartha, in spite of doing the vyavahara. His mind, his senses, everything is involved in the vyavahara. In the meantime, he is fully aware of the paramartha. Because he has the jnana. With his eyes, he is seeing the vyavahara, vyavaharika prapancha. His eyes are open and he is aware of the vyavaharika prapancha. With his charma chakshuhu, this is called charma chakshu, the ordinary eyes. He is aware of the vyavaharika prapancha. But in the meantime, in and through the vyavaharika, he is well awake to the paramarthika. And what makes him remain awake to the paramarthika? It is the eye of knowledge, the jnana chakshuhu. The charma chakshuhu cannot see the paramarthika. It sees only the vyavaharika. Charma chakshusha vyavaharikam pashyannapi jnana chakshusha paramartham pashyati. Charma chakshusha dvaitam pashyannapi jnana chakshusha advaitam pashyati. He is fully aware of the paramartha in spite of involving in the vyavahara. Not that he has to sit with his eyes closed in samadhi. The paramartha is not another state. If paramartha is another state, then it is not paramartha. Some people talk about a different state, Advaita state, Turiya state. Advaita is not a state. Turiya is not a state. Turiya is in and through all the states. It is the very substratum of all the states, the very support of all the states. And he is fully aware of it. It is Paramartha Yoga. The mind being awake to the Paramartha is called Paramartha Yoga. Kada Paramartha Yogam avapsyami. When will I get Paramartha Yoga? When will my mind remain awake to the Paramarthika? In fact, that is the goal of a spiritual aspirant. It is the goal of a jidnyasu, the goal of a mumukshu. Paramartha Yoga. When will I get it? Arjuna is asking this question to Krishna. Kada Paramartha Yogam avapsyami. Iti chet. If you ask so, Shranu, Tat Shranu, please hear that. Krishna says, if you ask so, please hear. I am telling you, when you will get the Paramartha, when you will get the Paramartha Yoga, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. No, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Shruti Vipratipanna Aneka Sadhya Sadhana Sambandha Prakashana Shrutibhihi Shravanaihi Vipratipanna Nana Pratipanna Shruti Vipratipanna Vikshipta Sati Te Tava Buddhihi Yada Yasmin Kale Sthasyati Sthiribhuta Bhavishyati Nischala Vikshepa Chalana Varjita Sati Samadho Samadhiyate Chittam Asmin iti Samadhihi Atma Tasmin Atmani Ityetat Achala Tatrapi Vikalpa Varjita Ityetat Buddhihi Antahkaranam Tada Tasmin Kale Yogam Avapsyasi Viveka Prajnam Samadhim Prapsyasi. We will see the Bhashya tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shantish Shantish Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.